Traveling is a means to success. Do subscribe Travel and Taste channel and like videos. For further videos, stay connected. Top traditional Swiss foods and dishes to try when you are in Switzerland. Switzerland, located in the center of Europe, Switzerland is famous around the world for its lakes, mountains, watches, and, obviously, its chocolate. Switzerland is a country filled with different cultures and traditions. In fact, this beautiful land is split into 3 areas, each with its own language, celebrations, and religion. This particularity led to a spectacular panel of dishes, desserts, and drinks. Some such as chocolate and Swiss fondue are famous, yet others are still unknown by the public. With this top foods, you are going to discover some of the most popular foods that Swiss people eat every day and other dishes that you will certainly never have heard of. Pizzoccheri. A homemade delicacy that most people from the Bündner region associate with their mother's kitchen, and is now a widespread dish. A flat ribbon pasta made with buckwheat and wheat flour, they are cooked with a lot of greens like Savoy cabbage, Swiss chard, sage and cubed potatoes. This mixture is topped with a thick layer of Valtellina cheese and dressed with butter-fried garlic and hot melted butter itself. This dish dates back years and is a traditional delicacy of the region. Zibelechueche. A traditional dish in Bern that makes an hearty breakfast, lunch or dinner. This is an onion tart that is pale in color and very fragrant, filled with delicious seasonings, onions and cheese. Pale looking but amazing to eat. These are found at the Onion Market in Bern that starts at 4 a.m. and continues till the early evening. Berner Platte. Not to be confused with a stew, the Berner Platte is a savory dish that is made from an assortment of meat like beef, smoked pork, beef tongue, bacon, sliced sausage, pork chops and pig ears and tails that is cooked with juniper-spiced sauerkraut, string beans, onions, potatoes and pickled turnips. Served up on a platter with an assortment of mild to hot mustard sauces as well as dry white wine, sweet butter and rye bread. This is a traditional meat dish in Bern, that is served as a buffet where each meat ingredient and side dish is first cooked separately so that the individual tastes are retained. Bratwurst. Made from pork, veal or beef, this German sausage is considered one of the favorite sausage for frying or barbecue. It is best eaten without any dressing because it allows one to enjoy the full impact of its flavors and aroma. Served with a traditional burley roll reed, it is a common item sold on the street food stalls around St. Gallen and is also very popular in most German-speaking parts of the country. Enjoyed with drinks at pubs or at barbecue parties, it is sometimes also served with Rösti in a pan to serve up a savory bratwurst with onion sauce dish. Dessert Gâteau du Vully. A celebrated dish around Mont Vully that tastes best with a free wine from the same place. It is made from a yeast-based dough that is airy but thick, topped with plentiful of cream and sugar which is pushed into the dough before baking the pie. It comes out a light golden from the oven. There is also a delicious version made from bacon and caraway seeds. Cholera. Hailing from Valais, this dish got its name during the cholera epidemic that was widespread in 1832. People were afraid to venture out of their homes in fear of getting infected, which is when they put together a tart made from whatever they could find in the larder and came up with a tasty dish with a not-so-tasty name. A savory dish involving veggies, dried and cured meat, potatoes, onions, leeks and full-flavored raclette cheese baked in a pastry shell. Not very popular in all parts of Switzerland today except Roumanie, this is a dish you must try for its historical background story. Croute fromage. Have cheese on toast Swiss style with this dish which is famous in the French-speaking part of England called Romandie. Slices of bread dipped in white wine and then layered generously with cheese and popped in the oven till the cheese is perfectly melted and golden. Served with a poached egg on top, you can't resist dipping your forks into this one. Swiss cheese. Cheese, yet another thing you can't miss in Switzerland where almost every dish has a healthy dose of rich cheese. Real cheese, not the market version, has a range of different flavors, some subtle, some strong, each with its own characteristic taste. Every region of Switzerland has a different taste of cheese from their own cow pastures, and one could go cheese tasting from one dairy to another. Here are a few types of cheese that are common and should be tried. Swiss chocolates. The thing that immediately comes to our mind when hearing Switzerland is definitely chocolates. Famous internationally for its cocoa treats from some of the best chocolate creators in Switzerland, the selection of amazing chocolates will leave you coming back for more. A few of the confectioners that are a must-visit to indulge your sweet tooth are Max Chocolatier. Try their seasonal truffles like chestnut flavor in autumn and caramel and pink pepper in winter. Sprungli, handmade pralines, truffles and nuggets. Lederach makes blocks of fresh chocolate called frisch chocolade, which are loaded with nuts and dried fruits and sometimes peppercorns and honeycombs. Also try their fluffy mini mousses coated with rich Swiss chocolate. Sprungli's Luxemburgerli. You think the best macarons in Europe must be found in France, but you would be proved wrong once you have a bite of Sprungli's macarons, which are called Luxemburgerli. Sprungli's is a Swiss luxury confectionery with no outlets in other parts of the world and is internationally famous for these macarons. A small and light macaron which has a light and delicious center-filled cream mousse that melts at higher temperatures, which is why they encourage you to have it immediately. You can't leave Switzerland before trying these internationally famous little macarons from Sprungli. Basler Mehlsuppe. Soup warms you up any time of the day, especially if you are in the cold Swiss areas. Basler Mehlsuppe is basically roasted flour soup that is a delicacy in the Basel region. As the tale goes, a Basel girl was not allowed to marry unless she knew how to make this soup. Made from roasted flour, butter, beef stock, onions and grated Gruyere. The interesting thing to this soup is that it is roasted with a burnt smell which imparts the uniqueness to this dish. Enjoyed the most during carnival time, it is one of the famous street food items in Switzerland. To have the best Basler Mehlsuppe, make a visit to Stern and Grill, Lotsberg or Treff. Papet Vaudois. Papet means a mash, and Papet Vaudois is a dish made from a mash of leeks and potatoes that is stewed long enough to create a thick and creamy bed for the fat saucisson sausage with fluffy meat. Sometimes cream and white wine or vinegar are added for an extra twist. The papet is usually eaten with the cabbage sausage or the sausage liver that rests comfortably on top of the mash bed. A dish not to be missed with its onion-tinted earthy base and loosely stuffed plump sausage. The most authentic dish can be had at the canton of Vaud where it originated. Tartiflette. No Swiss dish is complete without a dose of characteristic cheese, and tartiflette is no different. Made from creamy, nutty reblochon cheese over a plate of thinly sliced potatoes along with smoky bacon, caramelized onions and cream, this is a dish that is a potpourri of flavors. A staple dish in most ski resorts, this cheesy goodness is not to be missed if you ever visit the snowy Swiss mountains. Restaurant La Flore and Verbier mountain restaurants offer the best tartiflette if you ever decide to grab a bite. Basler Leckerli. This sweet dates back to 600 years when the local spicy merchants of Basler invented this biscuit, which is a delicious indulgence during the Christmas. These glazed gingerbread-like biscuits made from hazelnuts, almonds, fruits, honey and kirsch, Leckerli, which literally means delicious, has a treasured place in Switzerland's history. Sweet and savory, yet spicy and sticky. You don't have to wait till Christmas to bite into these honeyed delights. These can be found all year round in most bakeries around town. To fulfill your Swiss culinary journey, visit Zuauskeller and Stern and Grill for the best Basler Leckerli. Älplermagronen. Originating from the slopes of the German-speaking part of Switzerland, this dish is called the herdsman's macaroni because it uses the ingredients that the herdsmen utilized who looked after their cows on the Alps. An interesting variation of macaroni and cheese, this hearty dish is made by layering cooked potatoes and macaroni in cream and cheese. After baking, this comes out nice and cheesy and is served with fried onion rings, stewed apples and crispy bacon. A warm dish that warms you up on cold Swiss nights. One serving might not be enough. To taste the best Älplermagronen around town, you should visit restaurant Branti, Obermatt or Pilatus Kulm. Zürcher Geschnetzeltes. Tough-sounding word, but simply meaning Zurich-style cut meat, this official dish that originated in the German-speaking region of Zurich. Made from strips of veal, calf meat, and sometimes veal liver, along with onions, brown sauce, cream and white wine, this dish can be found in most restaurant menus of Zurich. Often veal kidney and mushrooms are also added to this flavorful dish, and sometimes veal is substituted with chicken or pork in certain households. Traditionally eaten with Rösti, rice or noodles, this meaty dish is a must-have. To have the best Zürcher Geschnetzeltes in Switzerland, head to Züauskala restaurant in Zurich. Saffron Risotto. One of the specialties of Swiss cuisine, this risotto is a unique blend of the cultures of Ticino and Valais. Saffron is harvested in the Swiss canton of Valais. Ticino is a southern canton of Switzerland which has its own official language that is famous for this risotto. Made from risotto rice cooked slowly with onions, vegetable stock, red gold, that is saffron, and the Swiss Constance wine and cheese, this creamy dish is topped off with fresh thyme. And if you are a lover of meat, then you can add bacon or veal before serving. Bünder Nusstorte. A yummy nut-filled tart, Bünder Nusstorte is made throughout the canton of Graubünden where it had originated. Each of the bakeries has their own recipe, but the traditional pastry is made from a short crust pastry with a filling of caramelized sugar, cream and chopped nuts, especially walnuts. This rich sweet pastry can be enjoyed with your cup of tea or coffee to fulfill your sweet cravings as you bite into something creamy, soft and tasty. It is suggested that the best Nusstorte can be had at the famous Hanselmann Cafe at the ski resort of St. Moritz. Raclette. Raclette is originally the name of a slightly nutty Swiss cheese that is famously eaten as a raclette dish where the cheese is melted and then scraped off over grilled vegetables, boiled potatoes with their skins or slices of meat. In the earlier days, the entire wheel of cheese was held in front of the fire and the melted cheese was then scraped off on a plate. Today households or restaurants have a modern raclette grill which allows one to melt cheese on one grill and veggies, potatoes, pickled gherkins, onions and bread on the other. No one doubts how tasty melted cheese is, especially when eaten over the top of anything edible on your plate. The best places to have your bite of raclette is the Raclette Stube, Restaurant Les Armures or the Raclette Factory in Zurich. Birchermüesli. They have a saying, muesli in the morning expels sorrows and worries. Everyone has tried muesli, but little do people know it was invented in Switzerland in 1900 by Dr. Bircher Benner, who introduced the modern muesli called Birchermüesli because he believed it was a healthier option than heavy meat-based breakfasts. Made from rolled oat flakes, milk, yogurt and a choice of chopped fruits like apples, nuts, berries and topped with a dash of lemon juice. Condensed milk can also be used in place of milk. A popular breakfast and evening snack options, muesli is prepared in every household. Rösti. The Swiss love their potatoes, so much so that they made it into a national dish of Switzerland. This famous dish that originated in the German-speaking part of Switzerland, is as simple as peeling and grating semi-boiled potatoes, adding in salt and pepper and shaping them into a patty that is fried in a pan with butter. These potato pancakes are crispy on the outside and melting on the inside. Depending on the region where it is being eaten, apples, cheese and onions are also added to make it more flavorful. Eaten with a side of almost everything but mostly fried eggs and spinach or sausages, Rösti was originally eaten at breakfast but is now enjoyed at all times of the day and all over the country. For the best Rösti, one should Fritchi, Farm Bosenegg or Wirtshaustorp, located in Lucerne, where it is served with salty bacon, fried eggs and melted raclette cheese with pickled onions. Fondue. The most iconic dish that everyone associates with Switzerland and now popular worldwide, The Swiss fondue is a large melting pot of cheese along with ingredients like garlic, white wine, a little cornflour/cornstarch and cherry brandy. Fondue, literally meaning melted, is typically served in a special ceramic pot that has a burner underneath that keeps the cheese mixture at a constant happy temperature. Fondue is eaten with pieces of bread, veggies, meat or pickles dipped into the cheese melt using long stem forks. This DIY dish is excellent for people to break the ice as they sit around the warm cheese after a long day at the chilly slopes. For the most delicious fondue, head to Zurich to a restaurant called Quais Alpes. Or even try out Le Désali and Swiss Chuchi. Instruction before eat: check food is halal or haram. Do subscribe Travel and Taste channel and like videos. For further videos stay connected.